Hey everyone, welcome to another Mark D with the C member stream. Last minute today, I wasn't sure how much time I'd have, and I see Gap is out there, so Gap says, "Hello, all happy Easter weekend." Yeah, so I wasn't sure if I'd have some time today, and hopefully the setup is working. Sorry for the late start. I think I have more time to set up, and then my laptop is quite old. Hello, computer, and what's giving me some crankiness in the last 5 minutes, but I think it's working on. I got to use Microsoft Edge with StreamYard, otherwise the other program won't grab my mic, which is crazy. But what I wanted to do today was I figured I'd do some model building and have some fun with that. So and Lisa, if she's out there, wanted to know how I cleaned up the seam lines in some of the models. So I got a bunch of Daredevil models, and I've got some Terminator models that I was printing. So I might just assemble a few of them, and then just so I can see how we can see how they go together, and then can always uh, fix those seams. But yeah, hope everyone's having a great Easter weekend. So if you celebrate Passover, happy Passover. And yeah, I figure it's a nice day, but the family's out doing some stuff right now. They're playing some pickleball, so I didn't go play pickleball. So figure hang out and do some models for a couple of hours here while we got some time to relax and just catch up on some fun hobby work. So let me go into StreamYard on my handy dandy cell phone here and use that as a camera, which I do. So let's see here. This is live. Let's see if this is going to work. Of course it's going to work. Let me mute. Let's see. The Mark D cam. There we go. There we go. So it's live right now. Okay. Let me put that on share that on the screen there. Oh, so we don't want to do vertical video, right? Yeah. Let's do horizontal. So printing some Farkle dice trays right now. Really tough to see through that glass there with that glare, but got that going on a 3D printer. And here's some of the Daredevil models, and there was the Hulk model I did. There's a thing. Actually, maybe we'll start. I gotta paint the eyes on Benji. So yeah, he's pretty sad with the new Silver Surfette. So, but let's I gotta paint his eyes, and then he's a little shiny, so we'll do some matte painting on him. But yeah, so let's get the let me get this camera locked into the handy dandy Manfredo holder there. All right. Let's why don't we do that to start with? Hey, Claude is here. He says, I wonder if people are hiding eggs or just saying they are. Well, actually, my in-laws, they would always go crazy hiding eggs and then put money in them. And they had a lot of fun doing that. My kids would go crazy with the eggs. Yep. And Claude, if you want to hop in, I'm going to send you the link because it'll be fun to hang out. If you got time, you're probably doing something much better, or watching Daredevil again, or watching the Silver Surfette over and over. But I'll shoot you the link on the. Let's see. I'll put it in the Twitters here. Let me grab that. Let's see. I'm using Edge. I don't have any of my bookmarks saved yet. Stupid Chrome won't work with, as like I said, with my microphone and StreamYard, which is nuts. Yep. But yeah, so let's paint Benji's eyes here. Yep. So yeah, so you're just gonna paint that white, and then you just put a little bit of blue. It's kind of a small, it's a small, not a huge model, so it's difficult to do really detailed eyes. Or I'm not that talented, but so let me send this link to Claude here. Let's see here. All right, I sent it to your Minimus. Is this Minimus Prime? Yep. Oh, of course, I didn't copy the right link. Hello, computer. Come on, work. It'd be nice if these things work sometimes. Why is it not copying? Control C, Control V. Well, that's super annoying. I should get. Oh, here. I do have googly eyes. Ask and you shall receive. Here we go. I do have googly eyes. Every 3D modeler should have a thing of googly eyes, right? Let's see. I've got all different sizes of googly eyes. Yep. Let me grab the little ones here. Let's see. Is that gonna fit? Yeah. Oh, here, I'll put that in with fun tech. Let's see. Let me angle this down more. Let's get the angle here. There we go. Need a tripod operator here. Okay, let me try to copy this again. See if this copies. Well, I'll be. Maybe I have to click invite, copy. Mr. Fantastic definitely couldn't figure this out, but copy and paste. Now it's working. Mr. Fantastic definitely could not figure that out, but Mrs. Fantastic could. Visible woman, yep. Yeah, here. Do I have any fun tech here? Here we go. Let's do some. Let's claw it ass. Yep. Fun tech is always good to have around. Of course, my fat fingers ain't reaching in there. Yeah, so we don't have to paint them. Yeah, we can just put googly eyes in. I'm gonna be in trouble for this one. Boom is gonna go after me. Friends of old Mighty Marvel. We're doing this the Idol of Millions. All right, now I'm in trouble with the Ben Grimm fan club. Claudia. See, he's got googly eyes. See? All done. Hey, Classic Comics. Great to see you. All right, now this was Claude's idea. See how quickly you can do some quick eye work. Yep. I don't know. I think he needs some plastic surgery. What do you think? Or Ben. Yep. It's bad enough turned into a rock monster. Then you give him a Claude guy wants you to put googly eyes, and these googly eyes don't. Come on, they got to shake around a little bit more in here. Not bad, right? All right, let's paint those eyes. Yep. Let's get these off. What a revolting development this is. So yeah, so we've got family in town for Easter, cooking, smoking a nice ham tomorrow. We got a Nice quality ham, I hope. That cost enough, so those are some googly eyes. Yep. And Claude says he smells like he just he just smelled the juicy. I'm gonna say juicy fruit. And Gap says, Mark, you're the only person I know that has a bucket of googly eyes. Yeah. But you got to be prepared. Boy Scout motto, be prepared. So you never know when you need some googly eyes. Like, we wouldn't do that to Daredevil, would we? I think some googly eyes on Daredevil. The poor guy can't see. So that's awfully mean. But maybe yeah, let's see what would Matt Murdock look like with googly eyes? Yeah. Let's see here. This is just horrible. You got all different sizes here too. So. All right, let's have some more fun at Matt Murdock's expense. People weren't crazy with I didn't think the new Daredevil series was bad. I just thought it was too stretched out in the good parts. Like Muse should have been a whole season, or 5 episodes solid, or White Tiger. Good stuff, but he was just not in it enough. I know the actor was in ill health and not doing well, unfortunately, but they should have had more of his story. All right, I'm going to Hell's Kitchen for this one. This is really bad. Let's see, do they shake around these googly eyes? Yep. They don't move that much. A little bit, yep. God. See what you started, Claude? What about the scene where the dude walked by and didn't know Daredevil there, and he should have? Which scene was that, Gap? Yeah, there's one thing I thought was Matt was underpowered in this season 2. When he's fighting that bank robber, should have had taken him out pretty quickly. It took forever, Or if he had toyed with him, yep. Yeah, let me know which scene, because I'm probably remembered if you jog the memory. Yeah, put one googly on Doctor Strange's forehead. Yep, that's for sure. Yeah, this is just bad. Do that to a poor blind guy. All right, we'll leave that one on there. Yeah, I don't want to try that on the Hulk, because God, the Hulk would be really mad if I did that to him. Saw I remember one episode. Not sure. That's okay. Yeah, no, I've one thing I thought the Matt should have been a little bit more uh, overpowering with that. But I did like that bank robber episode. I like those standalone episodes where the superhero, has got to protect his secret identity, but he can't let people know, like Spider-Man. He's got to try to use his web shooter so that everyone's seeing, or use his superpowers. But yeah, it's when he fought that bank robber, God, he should take this guy out in 2 seconds. And it didn't happen. All right, well, let me get my glasses here. Oh, I better plug in my power cord for my camera here, because my cell phone is annoying that it'll run out right when I need to use it. So yeah, when you use StreamYard, Captain, we need more power. Yep, takes a lot of power. Yep, Scotty, I need more power. Yep. Let's plug this, plug the power adapter in here. Never have too much power. Just too much responsibility. All right. There we go. Now we should be safe. All right. So, of course, because I'm old, I need some glasses here. See if these fit over the headphones. Yep. Well, everything got blurry now. There, let's see if I get set up so the camera can see this too. Yeah. Let me angle this a little bit more. Sorry, I know I'm blocking the camera, but there we go. Okay, because I got to get it set up so I can see the see what I'm doing. I can't have the camera block my head. All right, there we go. Some tester's paint. Yeah, just doing some white here. Just need a tiny, tiny drop of white. And this always gets sealed to the top. I found some tester's paint that I had from back in high school or before. 35 cents. 35 cents on them. Like now they're like $4. These little paints, but all right, so here's the eyes. Tiniest brush possible, pretty tiny brush. And we're gonna get in here. And be very, very careful. And of course, gonna need a few layers probably. Pick this up. You can already just see a little bit of that white there. See the whites of your eyes. Like the operation game, don't slip. Helps not to have had too much to drink. Are you doing this? Or caffeine? Oh, see, I messed up a little bit. Probably can't see that, but I did get a little overage there. So let's grab this other brush and I can grab a piece of towel. Just get in there and rub that off. So small, but and you could always go back with some orange too if needed. Not gonna give Ben eyeliner, so there we go. So yeah, let's see. Looks kind of freaky, but then once you paint the paint the blue in there, it'll look okay. So let's go get the other eye. You probably could do a little off white, but I'm lazy. I'm just doing white. Usually your eyes aren't perfectly white, but this is a rock monster, dude. So don't argue with me about the color. Clean that brush. You only want to get on the bristles, get it on the brush itself, or the ring of the brush. That's a pain because then it can hit spots you don't want to hit. The main thing, you just have patience and go slow. Don't try to, cover everything at once. Get a little water in there. Turn that off. Almost done with the left eye. Then you gotta let that dry. Probably 20 minutes is enough. Oop, back in the camera. Sorry. And of course, I'm painting over spray paint, so I could have maybe, probably should have sanded that just a smidge, or put a drop of primer on top because it's a kind of a glossy spray paint. So then the paint, see, it's kind of glooping together and running where I don't want it to run, or not sticking, I should say. As the paint dries and you let me grip that off. Yeah, the small eyes are tricky, but yeah, I probably should have either sanded that just a little bit, just so the paint sticks a little better. Just get a little bit more paint on that brush there. I mean, it's so small, and on the internet you can't see, but that's why you need the magnifying glass too. Let's get up there. All right, not perfect, but good enough for government work. No offense, anyone that works for the government. This is very tiny, tiny brush. but does the job. So here's just painting with some white eyes. Yeah, so you should probably should have done a little bit off white, but that's okay. Yep. Let's see, I'm missing a corner there. Let me grab that. When you look with the magnifying glass, you can see it. If you just look from a distance, you'd never catch it. But let me fix that falling under there. All right, you can't tell the difference there. It was missing just a little corner of the eye. So there we go. Hey, Courtney's here. Her, sorry. Sometimes I'm off the chat when I'm watching here. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Giving Walter a bath right now while I watch. Hey, Walter. Well, I'm doing some. There's Ben. We got to get his eyes, so gonna let that dry. So we got that model, and we're doing some daredevils. We're gonna fix all the cracks, and of course, this was a suggestion from Claude. I'm blaming him. He said, "Put googly eyes on daredevil." So when I send you one of these, Claude, I'll include the googly eyes just for you. Yep. I say always good enough for jazz, right? Yep. Thank you, Courtney. Yep. Hope you're doing well. Happy Easter. Let me try to clean this brush a little bit. There we go. And I got some mineral spirits and safety tip. Always label your stuff. It helps. So let's just clean that up. Clean that brush. Yeah, so we'll wait. We'll do the blue in a bit. And we'll work on this Daredevil model. Oh, and the accent colors. This is great stuff to use. Panel line accent color by Tamiya. So it's a very thin wash, so you can take the brush that's in the bottle and just go into Ben's cracks and get those accent marks on his cracks. And once I'm done, I have to paint like a matte coating because Ben shouldn't be so shiny. But I just bought some spray paint, a couple of different oranges, and sometimes whatever's the quickest works the best. So get that done with some spray paint. You don't always have to use the airbrush, although probably would get a better finish. So, but if you want to do a bunch of them, Rattler can's okay, right? I got my orange, and I think if I needed to touch up, I think this bend came out pretty good. But just in case you needed to touch up, let's get the orange paint there. All right, so let's say, oh, it's been snowing. Can't take it snow. Are you in Colorado right now, Courtney? It's snowing for 2 days. God, that's crazy. Easter Bunny is not going to be happy. So, yeah, she said, yeah, yep. So here's perfect plastic putty. This is a pretty simple way to fill up your cracks in the model. So whenever you build something like this, the printer is pretty darn good, but it's just never going to be perfect. So this is printed in pieces, and yeah, you could sand it. There's always some, especially something like this. There's always some expansion or contraction, or just never lines up perfect. The 3D model is perfect, but it always has some gaps. So you got to fill in those gaps. So like this Hulk here, if you'd seen it at first, it was loaded with gaps, and had to seal that up. It's getting dusty here already. One Hulk. So yeah, like you can see, this is a rough, just to seal it roughly there. You can see, that's the underside of the model, but the top you gotta really do a nice job. So got him all sealed up. But this is actually PC 1, 2, 3, 4 plus the head, so 5. But you know, I guess maybe you could tell where the seams are, but came out pretty good, I thought. And then here's the base. So this had a lot of gaps. This is primed. I got to finish painting this, but as you can see, underneath, see that the gap there where it went together, and the side didn't line up exactly. And I did an okay job. Didn't go crazy, but you can see where it's like curved a little bit. But it's fine for a 3D print. But then I'm gonna have to go in and paint this. The bullets are gonna be a pain. That's gonna be a pain to paint. And then there's another uh, bullet box, ammo box that goes there. Where did that ammo box go? It's somewhere around here. I'm gonna paint that separately. I'll show you a couple of the latest things. So I printed this Godzilla model. Let me get, oh, that's the wrong. Switch the bases to the right bases. Here we go. Don't want these falling around. So here is Godzilla. I got a prime. So that came off the carbon printer, X1 carbon, which is, so his arms are just separate. So I can prime him separately and paint the underside of the arm. Then I glue them together. But yeah, it came out pretty good. I mean, pretty good, darn nice detail for a small Godzilla. It's Godzilla -1, so that's pretty darn good. Not bad for the FDM printer, which the resin printer is a lot more detail. But the FDM printer, pretty nice for FDM. So what we got to do here is just fill in the gaps. I'm getting in trouble for these Google ads. Thank you, Gap. Yep, looks good. Yep. So there's a couple ways to do it. So with resin, you could actually paint the resin into these seams, and then use UV light. And I did that on Hulk, but some of these are kind of big, and then the resin tends to spill out. So I'm going to use this perfect putty. The other thing you could do crazy glue, and baking powder also works. I got a big bag of baking powder, and you can use that to fill in the gaps. So just a big bag, or baking soda, excuse me. So baking soda is the other way you can do it with crazy glue. Baking soda, you could do probably any, like plaster, Home Depot, when any putty filler for your sheetrock. Lots of different things you can do, but let's just use the perfect putty. It's basically the same stuff. So just the technique, you just put a little drop in. Let's start with this crack here. Let me move the camera back a little bit. Or you could put it on the, got these handy dandy spatulas. Put a little bit of the spatula on. This stuff always gonna squeeze. Come on out. So it comes out on this little line like that, so you can. It's just a matter of patience. Fill in all those gaps. Yep. That's why when you watch those YouTube videos, it's like, speed it up. And the person's done just in a few minutes, but takes a little bit longer than that. But it's always fun watching those videos of modelers and people do it the time lapse. Like, wow, that looks easy. I could do that. Won't take that long. Yeah, these gaps are pretty. It's too big for just like this particular gap. Way too big for the resin. The resin will just soak soak right through there into the center of the model. There's some texturing on here too you want to preserve. So this is. It looks like it's not skin on here. It's his costume, although it's kind of modeled like it's skin tight. Let's see, let me take these glasses off. I don't need them right now. Yeah, the idea is then you're gonna prime this. All right. So I'm assuming everyone saw the Fantastic Four trailer. We're going to talk about that on Sunday Night Geekery, of course, on Easter. But yeah, it's just Pedro does not look like Mr. Fantastic. Johnny also, the guy playing Johnny was great in Stranger Things, but I haven't seen enough yet. But it just doesn't look like maybe it's the blonde hair and the eyes aren't matching up. I don't know if he's got blue contacts in but his eye color, crazy thing, but just his eye color looks off to me. I don't know. Johnny's blonde with blue eyes, so the comics, of course, just like Ben, the Idol Millions. Of course, after you do this, then you can go over and sand this so you get this a little bit neater. It'll look a little bit neater, hopefully. Hopefully, it says. But that's this is probably one of the more time-consuming things, with the model. So I've got 3 of these or 4 of these to do. Maybe big ones that I do, plus the little ones. So yeah, you could spend a few hours doing this, but it's fine, if you're watching TV or got your favorite YouTube channel on in the background, listening to that. It's not so bad. I mean, should be working on the lawn, I guess, but you got to get Daredevil finished. Yeah. Johnny is short, a small, small flame on, says Lisa. Yep. Hey, Lisa. And you got the link too if you check the Twitters if you want to pop in and say hi if you're not too busy. But yeah, Johnny doesn't look. I don't know. It's fine, I guess, but uh, we're getting a very proactive Vanessa Kirby and as as Sue and Mr. Fantastic who doesn't act so fantastic. It seems, of course, got to wait till the movie comes out, of course. But just seeing the female Silver Surfer, yeah, I'm gonna get in trouble now. Yep, but God, it's just an abomination. It's like, why change? Why change that character? I mean, it's Shia LaBeouf, and everyone's saying, "Oh, she's in the comics. She is the Silver Surfer." It's like Earth X. It's an obscure, Elseworlds tale basically, and I think in Hercules, one of the Hercules comics, I'm trying to remember now. I think it was, so It, it was just a ridiculous, you know, mini. Well, I love this series were great. The Hercules miniseries are some of the best. Bob Layton, but it was like a one-off thing with the character. It wasn't. If you read the Silver Surfer comics, uh, yeah, Shalabah was always Norrin Red's girlfriend, never the Silver Surfer in mainstream continuity. So it's just disingenuous to say anything else. And you hear people talk. Oh yeah, she was the Silver Surfer. Tell me you haven't read that many Marvel comics by saying that. And there's no need to flip the character around too. It's Norrin, making the sacrifice to save his home world, save his girlfriend, um, save his planet by agreeing to be Galactus's herald. But no, they gotta do it. They gotta switch it. One of Jack's Kirby's great creations, along with creating the Fantastic Four, um, based on the challenges of the unknown, his previous comic that he did for DC. It's basically the first iteration of the Fantastic Four. Get some it's a tough spot to get into here. It's just annoying. Like there's no need to swap up the character like that. It doesn't change any of the character motivations or it's just let's add another female to the tale, and it's not changing anything up. So, and the CGI doesn't look that good either. God, Doug Jones I thought looked pretty good in The Rise of the Silver Surfer. He's an amazing physical actor. Of course, he plays Saru on Discovery, but he does a phenomenal job in all those outfits and costumes and with makeup. One of the more famous, what do you call it, monster guys, or I don't know how you describe, but acting with prosthetics. Yep, he's brilliant. Yep. It's gonna make the other Fantastic Four films look much better. This is Cap. Yep. And Lisa says, "Oh, just woke up, played Sea of Thieves wee hours. Wow, Mandalorian's a tough captain there. Yeah, not letting you get any sleep there. Well, I hope you got some good booty. Always good to get good booty. Yeah, Sea of Thieves is a lot of fun. Yeah, we had a good time playing some Fortnite last night with Lisa, Mandalorian, and Dave, and we finished on a win, which is always good. And then Lisa and Mandalorian went to play Sea of Thieves, I guess, till all hours. And that's a lot of fun, that game. So if you want to join our guild, get the game, and I think I put the link in for members, but let me know if you want to join our guild. Sale for Clobbering Times guild, yep. So yes, I know Lisa does an eBay store with models for dolls, cool little miniatures. So yeah, this is I guess some you could say some miniature work, right? The mini Daredevil. But yeah, once this dries, I'll go over it with some sandpaper. But yeah, you got to get these gaps filled in because this, even though the neck looks like it's his skin, it's not. It's actually the costume. So this will be painted red. But there's some big gaps here that you gotta fill in where the model didn't exactly line up perfectly. And you fill that in, and some of the smaller ones I could do with resin, but These I thought were too big, and I did try to do some of it with resin at one point. I wasn't happy with how it was, uh, filling everything in and covering up. It covers up the details. It adds a layer versus this is can kind of be kind of rough. Keep that keep that texture of the of Daredevil. Yep. And Lisa's ship is called Booty Barge. Yep. And she needs to get to Order of Souls 50, taking forever. Yeah. So in Sea of Thieves, if you get the three main guilds, or there's Order of Souls, Merchants, and what's the other one? Gold Hoarders. If you get up to level 50, then you become a pirate legend. You get some cool little perks being a pirate legend. You can buy cool stuff and skins and things. Yep. So yeah. And then you got to do missions for each guild. So that can take a while. It's like, ever gonna get to level 50? Well, that's what makes the game fun, right? So shouldn't be too easy. There's a gap here. Yeah, it probably looks pretty rough, but it'll it'll clean up nicely in the morning. Want to run to that finger over that putty to smooth. Yeah, yep. I'm letting it dry a little bit. See, but there's like a texture on here, so um, you don't want to have these gaps are pretty big, so I probably should go smaller. I'm trying to get it done quicker. There we go. Oh, it's dry enough, yeah, so I can get in there. I probably have to go back and do another coating too. Yep. And then there's like you've got to go through here. I got to go through here and pull out. There's some supports in here. You got to be careful. Sometimes these will pop right out. You're gonna probably got to cut them so it's now that this is hardened. I should have probably done that before I hardened it. These supports here. Break those out. There's a lot of finishing work. It's like buying a rough model kit. Commercial model usually comes much better, but 3D printing is always a lot of imperfections. Yeah, the nature of the beast. Yep. Let's break these out. And of course, we can look at something from a distance too. It's Daredevil's going to have some imperfections from fighting crime on his costume too, right? All right, let's get that. It's a big gap in here. Let's get that. I've used lightweight spackling as a filler. Yeah, I have some lightweight spackling too. Yep. Comes in a tub, is inexpensive. Yeah, I think. But this is better because it costs more. It's perfect plastic putty. Yeah. So no, you're right. I have tons of like spackling. Yeah. So you could use spackling too. Yep. And the resin actually works great if you use the resin depending on where it is on certain spots on the figure. Yep. But I'm hoping once this is sand it a little bit, but I want to keep this kind of rough because of the texture. Of course, these lines are solid. But yeah, this is supposed to be a costume here, so you got that big gap. You can't have that gap there. It's supposed to go seamlessly into the seam. You can't. I guess the advantage with the tube is you can get a little. You could get a bead there if you were patient and get into that gap there. Then I got to go back and fix that. And of course, the Fantastic Four movie, starting off with Galactus right away. Like, why don't we get some? Why don't we get Doctor Doom first, right? Fight Doctor Doom, then you get to know the team a little bit, and then Galactus was issue 50. Was it 49, 50, or 47, 48, 49, 50? No, it was three. I think the Galactus saga was three issues, ending with issue 50, if I believe. They can have the Watcher in it. You got to have the Watcher, and you got to have the Ultimate Nullifier. We'll see what they do. Hopefully they have hopefully the Watcher's in it. All right, that's not so. Probably looks horrible coming across the camera, but I think this is going to work out pretty well once it's primed and sanded there. Let's see. Of course, the gap, underneath here, I don't need to. It's underneath the model. Go to this, get this side here a little bit, of course. But yeah, it looks like, yeah, and then why they have Sue is Prego with Franklin already. They're skipping way ahead. They're probably gonna Valerie pretty soon. That's right. Franklin for time was perpetually 5 years old in the comics, which is okay, and then they aged him up through time travel. Let's see, what's Lisa's everyone here saying? Just fun to experiment. BRB. I need some coffee. Yep. Not a bad idea if you just woke up. Yep. So here we go. Get this big gap filled up. Of course, Amazon, the hobby shops now, you can buy everything online, but like these little dental tools, and I'll probably put some. Got to make a list, like a Google Doc, all the stuff I bought. But little tools like this years ago was tougher to get, or you had to go, specialized hobby shop. You can find anything online now. It just makes things so much easier to find what you need, specialty wise. Like, ask the dentist, did you have any? We're gonna get these tools, and they're cheap too. I'm sure that when you bought them for a dentist years ago, it probably were a fortune. Yeah. Let's go around this corner here. Or they could have had Fantastic Four. You could have had Mole Man, that famous first story, attacking the city with the big mole creature, big creature coming out to attack New York. If you didn't ruin Namor, you could have had them meet Namor. Of course, now Namor is forever ruined in the MCU unless they totally choose to ignore travesty of what they did with him. Did not finish watching Wakanda Forever. Couldn't. Had to turn it off. I watched the funeral for Black Panther, and then his Namor showed up. I can't take it. Okay. So this was all one piece. There's maybe some stuff to sand here. This is just a rough first fill in the gaps on Daredevil. Some of these supports are here. You want to knock these little. So whenever you're building something on a 3D printer, it needs a support to go to the next layer. So if there's a gap in there, it needs to put something in there to support that. Yeah, so that's not. Of course, you got to watch these lines here. Continue that over that seam there. That's where it's tricky. I'll have to go back with sand, some fine sand in there later. So what does everyone make for Easter meals if you're celebrating Easter? We do a big Easter omelet, which is like, think of lasagna for eggs. It's just the same kind of tray they would use for lasagna. You would use for you put in, you mix up all your eggs. I'm gonna use some of this here. Let's finish this tube off. So you eggs, cheese. Usually we do sausage. You could do chopped ham in there, and you make like a big lasagna of eggs. I guess which now costs. That doesn't cost as much. Price went down a little bit, but and cheese, and you cook that, and wow, that comes out good. Yep. So we're eating eggs all week, and sausages, and gonna cook a big ham with it. Yep. So yeah, so that's how you would do. Do fill in some gaps on a model, and like I said, the other way is to do it with resin. But let's. I've got like 3 or 4 of these to do, but there's another one back there. But let's put this on here. So here's the base. Actually, the base is 2 pieces, but it came out. This base came out pretty good. There's really not much finishing to do on this, other than painting. Let's assemble Terminator that I printed, and then we'll do some more. Can do some more sanding, but that would be fun to put together because it's the same work, on all these guys. So, but that's what happens when you print them. You got to finish them, right? And I guess look at the gap on there. That's not so good. So and the things print better separately too in pieces. Just the way in terms of waste, you could print this on FDM one piece. I could try that, but then you end up with so many. You end up with a ton of supports and things. So, but yeah, that might the smaller one might be able to do that in one piece. And the person I subscribe to, it's Wicked 3D. They have these each month they put out a ton of models. And here's this Arnold that I just did. And I didn't realize how big Arnold's would be. I didn't check the scale. I thought it would be a smaller print, but look how big this came out to be. So I printed it for fun, and it's like this marble PLA, so you don't have to paint it. So but it came out awfully big. So this was in three pieces. So it was the head. Nice job with the sculpture there. And then you print the Terminator body here, and Then here's the stand that goes with it. Some of the there's a chain that goes around this that didn't print really well, so I just knocked the chain off. But I just got to glue him together, I guess. But not really fit. The idea of using this marble uh, filament looks like a sculpture, but I didn't check the scale uh, when I printed it. When I printed one so big, but it does look cool. But yeah, so I've got one of these is going to Claude, so I've got three of the big daredevils, and what do I have? Three of the small ones. So I've got to finish those up. But I did print Terminator. So with this Wicked 3D, they do a theme each month. So uh, last month was Terminator. So I'm gonna print. This is the exoskeleton, robot T800, and there's an Arnold version. So you've got all these pieces. So let's fit these together in the base. Let's see, but this came out pretty cool. So we've got the legs. But the details on this is on this guy's really amazing. So with resin, you get some great details. Here's his arms. That's like a puzzle too. I got to figure out how this goes together. So there we go. Let me grab the base. And walk over to my 3D printer and grab that. So the base is pretty intricate on this one too. And there was someone really, really good painter on YouTube that did a whole tutorial on how to paint this. So I'm gonna follow along as best I can with that person who did some amazing work. All right, so let me get. Actually, I had the base. I gotta flip it here. I want to do another few minutes on the curing station. Flip it around so we get the other side. Let me bring this base over here. Nope, don't drop it. But it's going to be a pretty big sculpture, which is cool. And of course, you can always do like scale this to 50%. They give you two versions, 100% and 50%. So here's the wicked cool base by Wicked. So the chains got screwed up there a little bit on the 3D print. I could try to maybe I'll spackle that in, but we'll see how the paint comes out. So that's just the front part of the base. You can see how big this is going to be. Then you've got another corner of the base here. They've got the base, and then you've got some extra skulls that fit in there, and of course the Terminator, the sign, which is nice. They printed that sign separately, so you can paint that separately. Just another piece of diorama there. So wicked cool. As you can see, this is going to be a big. Once I get that other piece, pretty big. But see the huge. Ended up with a huge gap. Got some warping there, so more than I'd like on that corner, but yes, I might have to sand. I think if I sand this piece down, I don't know if I can get in closer there to get that gap tighter. But yeah, that's gonna be a pain. We'll have to do some sanding there. Yeah, so that gap just happens when you do the 3D prints. I don't know if it's the settings on the machine or, but yeah, sometimes it doesn't come out as clean as you'd like. Oh, see the top, it meets there, but you got the gap That side's not so bad, but this side is going to be tough here with that. You could fill that in, but wow, that's a big gap. So hopefully I can get that. If I sand this, I can get that a little bit, just a little bit closer maybe. Then you want the other side to fit, fit it all together. So let's see. I'm gonna see how this. Well, we can start with the head. That's the easy part, right? Oh man, that looks awesome, doesn't it? You always want to measure twice, cut once. So, and the tubes and the skeleton need to line up. I guess you could always heat that up or bend that. Let's see how that. It's keyed, but there's a lot of leeway here in terms of how that can line up. In terms of motion, I should say. Yeah, I might have to heat that up. But let's hit that. Let's hit that with the file just a little bit. Oh, let me catch up the chat. Yep. Oh, did Cool? I need sunglasses. Get to the chopper. Gap says thanks for making me hungry. Sorry. Yep. Uh, there is a version with sunglasses actually too. I could print the. I think the sunglasses print separately too. I got to check that. I should grab the smaller file for this one. Of course, it's always good to have a nice little set of files. That looks great. The Terminator Android or robot or whatever. Yeah, so there's one. Yeah, there's the robot version. Yeah, I'm sure the T800, but then there's the Arnold. Arnold T800. When he's in the disguise. Yep. Yeah, I think. Yeah, you're right, Lisa. You need to print those. The sunglasses were separate. Yeah, you can put the sunglasses on. But with the marble one, I wasn't sure how to look, but I will try. Or I could paint the sunglasses black for fun. I'm just hitting this in a few little spots here. You don't want to break those tubes. You want to get the Terminator angry at you. Let's see. Yeah, so that I'm assuming the head goes here like that. So the trick is to get these tubes to line up. But I think I might have to go with a heat gun, and then it's going to be tricky because it's so tight. So some of these aren't lining up perfectly well. I probably could maybe push it with the glue, and then maybe get it to go into place. It's always a tricky thing sometimes getting these models to all fit together. Let's grab that. Just want to get a little bit of the roughness off there. And of course, if you're looking at this from a distance, it's like, what? Can't see that. Yeah, see now that's fitting together a little bit better. Let's take this down. And of course, yeah, you should wear a mask if you're doing a lot of sanding. This is just a tiny little bit, but if you're doing a lot of sanding, always should wear a mask with this kind of work. Yep. So yeah, see that part is not lining up, but I think if I push it with the glue, I think it'll catch. But this isn't. I don't think it's bottoming out all the way. So let's make this one a little bit. Take a little bit off the top here. So that spine sits together. Yeah, I can probably fit that one. And that one I probably can gap it, yeah, like that. Hey DJ, dropping by to say hi and leave a like. Thank you. Have a great time with your build. Thank you so much, DJ. Yep. Happy Easter. It's always fun once you get get these guys together. It's like see what the final creation. It's a lot of fun. Yep. It's just amazing too the technology you can actually have a printer that's not too expensive. Put some resin in, put the model in. I didn't do these models, obviously. Bought these on Patreon. But if you got the skills, you could design this or learn 3D modeling and make your own Terminator. So I mean, the people that do these are just incredible artists. But you can teach yourself to do this stuff in Blender, and there's some free 3D modeling software out there like Blender, and yeah, you can do it yourself. Yeah. I don't think I could ever do something like this, but maybe maybe someday I will. Yep. And I'm sure that just like any program or anything you learn, there's tricks and things to make it easier and to go faster. Let's hit the neck here a little bit. I mean, it's pretty smooth when it comes out of the printer, I have to say. So, but just hit that just a little bit. It's getting a little bit better, actually. Yep. Yep. So that little bit actually made the difference. Hit it just a little bit more here on the top. And that's what you want to spend the time doing this kind of stuff. Just glue it together, then you regret it. You regret it in the end because if I just spent that 5, 10, 15 minutes doing this, then it would have come out better. Yeah, so it's already lining up close enough that I can glue that and hold it and let it glue there, so the tubes will line up. and then I can always, it's going to be under stress, so, but hopefully it's okay. So you can put some glue there. That's going to be tricky, but, and the paint job on this shouldn't be too tough. It's mostly silver with accents, so I'm hoping, I was following that tutorial a person did, and it wasn't too bad to paint, something like this. The skin, there's no skin tones on this one you have to worry about, obviously. So, you could paint it silver, but by using that wash, that etching wash, the panel line accent color can really make things look cool, metallic there. Let's hit this a little bit on this edge. All right, let's get that. Get to the chopper. All right. Yeah, and you can't see. You're just trying to feel. So that's sitting pretty nicely. Yeah. There we go. That's, I think, where it should line up. Feel that there. Yep. Okay. So let's move on to the crazy glue, or CA glue. Let's put a drop of glue. I'll get the tubes to line up later. This is just some Insecure gap filling. So let's put a drop. Less is more sometimes. You don't want to go crazy. And always wipe off the outside of your tube there when you put the tube back on. It doesn't get stuck. I found out the hard way. It's stuck. You can't get the cap off. Always wipe that down. Yep. So now this. There we go. That's where I want it to be. All right, so just hold that. Exciting stuff watching glue dry. Now you can use Instaset as well, but I think this is pretty. Let's do some Instaset on this. Okay, so where's my Instaset? Let's see, is that? Oh, there's my Instaset. Okay, let's grab that. So this is great stuff. Bob Smith hit glue accelerator. So you just hit that in there, and that's going to seal your glue. Don't store that near your CA glue, but that, or if you get some of the glue on your hands, and then you use the Instaset, it can be painful. Yeah. So now this, obviously you can't tell, but just boom, just getting that little bit of Instaset there. Boom. That's solid. That's almost cured all the way. So that makes life so much easier. And thank you to Sean, the sci-fi model guy, who gave me that very nice super chat last week. And I got to send these. Doomsday Machine, don't fall over. Doomsday Machine. I got to print a bigger base for this one. Oh, yeah, it's action figure. Once you try to grab something, it knocks everything else over. There we go. Yep. So here's the sci-fi model guy. Thank you to Sean for that tip there. So check out his channel. His links in the description below. But it's a very simple tip that saves you a lot. I've been doing models for years and didn't know about that. So, which is crazy. Hey, go for a painting. How's it going? Thank you for stopping by. I haven't seen you around, but appreciate it. And yeah, anyone here could hit that like and sub button. Much appreciated. Glad you found the channel. So I do a lot of Star Trek, comic books, sci-fi, and I do a lot of 3D printing for fun. So thought this would be a nice way to do a stream and hang out. This is a Wicked 3D's model of the Terminator. So you can find their Patreon. I'll have to put that link below in the channel description. But if you Google Wicked 3D, they will show up. And $10 a month, and you get, I think, like 15 to 20 models a month, or minimum 10. But I do the sub to their Marvel theme, and then they have a movie theme. So this really wicked cool Terminator theme last month. And go for greetings from Hungary. Awesome. Yep, I got my roommate from college. His parents were from Hungary. They actually escaped. Dad actually escaped during the invasion in the 50s. Escaped out of a prison camp, and thankfully was able to make it to the USA. So yeah, great people in Hungary. Yep, some great traditions. Yeah, when he got married, we had there was a traditional drink. I can't remember the alcohol that everyone had to drink from for good luck. I'm trying to forget the name of it, but didn't taste so good. But it was for a good cause. I'm not a big drinker, but yeah. But great to have you here. So I think this, and of course, before you glue this stuff, you gotta check how everything lines up. So I'm assuming this is the right arm. And then what Wicked does too, they have the uh, shows you how everything goes together too. So let's see. No, there's gonna be another piece of the arm there. Let's see which. I think this is the right arm. Let's see, or I can see where the tubes line up. Yeah, so you've got to have. Hey, I think I'd be smart enough to put this. That's a leg. It looks like leg piece. Obviously, another leg there, and then part of the leg is goes into the base too as well. Let's see here. This arm here. I'm assuming that's the left arm. Oh, and a piece broke off there. You can see. So I have that piece in my box here with all these little. So I'm assuming that goes like that. Oh, that looks wicked cool. So this is keyed. You can see the pieces that go in are keyed. So you can rotate it a certain amount, but I guess if you hit that right spot, then this will go into there. But I should call up the Wicked. I should call it up just to double check before I glue everything. But That I assume is the left arm. And the right arm, that's got to be what looks like a leg there. Let's see, is this the arm? That's got to be part of the leg. And you got to make sure, yeah, I'm not missing a piece, right? Maybe this goes, I guess no, this would be the whole arm here. Oh, I think it goes like that. Yeah, that's cool. Oh, thank you, Go for Painting. Just subbed up. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yep. Do I have any Terminator clips? Oh, I think I have Get to the Choppa somewhere. I don't know if I have it on here. Let's check. Yes, I do.
Get to the chopper! You have to set an example even in the face of stupidity. Now, everybody that reads comic books knows that Kirby's Silver Surfer is the only true Silver Surfer.
All right. Well, I'm going to go to Wicked 3D here. Let me put the link in and Wicked 3D models. And let me go to their Gumroad. That's easier to see all their stuff. Yep. We copy their link in here for everyone to check out these cool models. If you see something like printed at Wicked, let me know, because with the license, I can actually print these and sell these. You know, if you pay for a commercial license with these guys. So let me share my screen here. Oh, let me share this tab here. Let's see if this is. Oh, let me get the other and share the right one here. Yeah, let's go to Gumroad. Share screen. Oh, that's what I wanted to share. I clicked the wrong one to share. There we go. So they have all these great models you can see here. Just scroll through quickly. Killmonger versus Black Panther. The Cap model is really cool. So if you subscribe to them, you get these a bunch of models each month, and then they'll give you a discount if you see something really like that was in the past that where you weren't subscribed to. We'll give you a deal on that, or discount, I should say. So let's see. So here's this Fantastic Four diorama. I've got to print this, and there's also a Super Scroll diorama that I actually printed with Sue. I've got to put. That's another one I got to put together, which is very cool. But let's do Terminator. So this was that's the Terminator diorama there. See the sunglasses, Lisa? Yeah. So the arm goes up, and I printed them separately, so you could print these two together. So let's see here. And you can do an Arnold, with his head kind of messed up, or together. So let me go back. I just want to make sure when I glue these. Oh, I'm surprised I don't. Maybe if I do T800. T800. There we go. Okay. And the bust is really cool too. Okay, so this is just to check how the model goes together. So that arm goes straight up, and then that other arm is on the right going down. So let me go back to StreamYard here. Oh, my son's calling. Let me see what they're calling about. Sorry about that. Let's see if he's. I need to stop sharing there. They're probably buying lunch. I want to know if what I want for lunch. Yep. All right. Let's see if he left a message here. Oh, and Lisa says I have a gold leaf and it's worth the effort. Oh, check out the silver leaf gilding kits. That might be a beautiful time-consuming project on the Terminator. I have a gold leaf, and it's worth the effort. Yep. Oh, and Lisa's saying, and I'm trying to catch up to the chat here. Any chance of painting before something? Well, something like this is so exposed and out in the open that I think it's not that tough to paint after. But sometimes, yeah, you would definitely want to paint first and then assemble after. But I think something like this, it'll probably be okay to put this all assembled together. Like the Godzilla, I'm gonna uh, do the arms first, then put it all together. Yep. So I'll look that up. Yeah, silver leaf gilding kits. So what does that do? Give a really nice finish? I guess, Lisa, you're saying. I'll check that out. Yep. And saying hello to go for a painting. Yep. So let's glue this together. Yeah. So depending on the model, you're gonna want to make sure that yeah, if there's some spots that you can't get to, like I guess technically I could with the spray paint I can get in there with the airbrush. Be back in 1 second, everyone. Got a phone call. All right, sorry about that, everyone. And make this. Let's actually make this full screen again. There we go. Just trying to get. Let me text my brother-in-law. Sorry about that, everyone. See if they text me back. All right, so what you can do here is yeah, just like I can get to that with a brush under there. So and with spray paint, and it's silver, so it's not too locked up. So let's. And I'm impatient, right? You want to see this guy together? Yep. But you never want to be too impatient, I should say, with this kind of stuff. But get some glue in there. So that should be enough to. There we go. So let's hold that. Let's get some Insta-Set on this. Yep. And always take your glue away from where you're going to spray the Insta-Set. Safety tip. Yep. Okay. Yeah. So that works perfect. Yep. That stuff. Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah. All right. So now let's get the. And of course, the arm. Everything is going to be easy to reach. So yeah, with this spray gun, I can get in there. So here's the arm. There's really not much finishing you need to do on this. And always, you always want to put like too much glue on. It's just human nature. I think you want to like extra glue, and then sometimes it goes over, and you, God damn, why did I put so much glue on? That's gonna end up being a pretty big model. So now I get the Insta-Set. And you just boom. That's perfect. Yep. And so a lot of this model work would be a lot tougher to do without the Insta-Set. I gotta say, it's a nice cheat. Yep. And hail to the great RobAltis. And oh yeah, I've got to download those pictures you sent, Rob, and we gotta do some modeling streaming together like this. Yep. So yeah, this is looking pretty mean. Yep. Okay. I got my lunch order in. The family's out. Damn, that looks cool. God, it's just amazing you can do this. Do this at home. Yep. And Courtney just subbed to Go for a Painting. I just subbed. Your channel looks cool. Yeah, I will definitely sub and check your channel out too. Yep. And I'm by no means an expert. I'm just doing this for fun. But God, it is fun to be able to do this stuff. Yep. Okay, so I'm just checking the fitting here. Really, what you want to check with this is where the arm, the tube is going to line up with the hydraulics here. So let's put some glue on there. Just go on the shoulder side. And again, you don't need too much glue. And Rob has one of the T1000 figures. It's not a model, but looks awesome. Yeah, the Terminator design is just phenomenal. This is when you need like 4 arms sometimes. Oh, this isn't so bad, but make sure that's lining up kind of where I want that. And there's always some leeway here in terms of this, where these joints fit together. Like, yeah, if I had someone come, okay, spray the Instascent. Where's my Instascent sprayer? Trying to hold that for a few seconds just to see if it'll grab. Then I can come in with the Instascent. And I'm always impressed by, I'm a very novice painter, and just the way that people are able to paint, and just watching YouTube for techniques and tips and tricks. Just it's just amazing. It's you can just learn so much, and learn something all the time. All right, so I'm gonna have to try to hold that and Insta-set it right there. Let's see if this works. Yep, that's Insta-set is the best. Yep. And that tube, it's off a little bit, but I think I can get in there and push that down and glue that after. Yeah. Yeah. So without that Insta-set, that would be a nightmare. And Courtney says, Mark, you're a man of so many more talents than I knew. Well, thank you. I don't know how talented I am, but I have fun and try to do stuff. So, but I did model making as a kid all the time. Not that I had, some great. If you look at some of my models now, I'm like, oh wow, that's pretty crude. But it was just a lot of fun. And then you had these cool figures, or especially the sci-fi stuff too. I mean, and they didn't have action figures. When I was a kid, you couldn't get action figures and stuff. So it was. They had the Mego figures and some basic figures, but yeah, it was tough. Yep. And Courtney says, I'm only posting shorts at the moment, but I'm almost at a whopping 600 subs. LOL. I will be doing live soon. There will be a fun birthday stream, and Matthew Marsden said he will join. Awesome. Yep. Less than a month away. Yep. Well, happy birthday. So yeah, short. You can also do vertical lives, I guess, too, which is one of the popular things to do now. That Dustin does a lot of that. Oh, here we go. Oh, look at that. Knee bone connected to the hip bone. So this goes into here, and there's a little bit of gap there. Let's see, how does this fit? Let's check. So I think I got to do a little bit of sanding. Not a lot, but maybe a little bit of sanding on there will get that gap down. And this is he's kind of fragile. He's a Terminator, but all these tubes and everything, it's fragile. Yep, fragile. Yep. If the vid had one silver lining, it was making me get back into modeling. Yeah, sometimes good things come out of bad. Yeah, I hadn't done modeling for years. I've done a lot of 3D printing, but when I finally got the resin printer, that was inspiration to get back. And this was the few I had seen. There was the Hulk that I printed from Wicked and finished painting. So he came out pretty mean and green. That was a fun thing to print and not too difficult to paint, although the details in the mouth. I might go back and lighten that. I was trying to get like a green over red on the lips, but there's a little bit of green there. It's tough to translate through, but that was a lot of fun to paint. And that's another wicked model. Yes, I think if I just take this part down just a little bit here. Oh, my headphones on my camera went out. And then Rob says, "Dem bones, dem bones." Yep, them dry bones. Yep. Let's put this back into charge again. These earplugs don't last that long. Oh, they're old now, I guess that's why. That goes that way. Yep. Yeah, so I just want to get that gap between there. I think that did it actually. Just hitting that with the file just a little bit. Did a nice job. So, and we can fill that in too, but you see, always get imperfections underneath, but that you won't see that. That's covered up. Let me just hit this just a little bit more, but it's pretty good. Yeah, what's great about YouTube too is sharing all these techniques, and you just learn little tips and tricks, like I said, and just makes doing everything like this a lot easier. Like that tip from Lisa, I'll check out, or I got the accent. You know, that's a tip from another 3D modeler, painter. You know, and there's basic stuff like, oh, how could you not know that? You know, but someone shows you something, or I knew about doing washes, but then you can buy that paint. And I'm just getting it back into airbrushing again. So yeah, there's so many great YouTube channels out there on airbrushing and tips and tricks and how to do things. All right, so hit that just a little bit more. So the more you can make it fit together. Now, this makes it a little bit less work down the road. We don't want the Terminator to have a hip transplant, right? And of course, at a certain point, you can. That's enough sanding. I'm gonna just fill in the gap manually there. So that, yeah, this side, the right side, it's way off. So we've got that gap on the right side of the Terminator. Probably just gonna have to fill that in. It looks like. I cheat a little bit there when you glue it, but it's probably warped just a little bit, and gonna have to fill that in. Let me hit this top part here, being careful not to Let's see if I hit that a little bit. If that... Yes, I do have a decam. Yep. And of course, always Prisoner. The Prisoner, great TV show. One of the all-time classics. I gotta watch that again. I'm watching Emergency right now again. I'm on the 6th season of Emergency, so I've got to get through the 6th season again, and then they were like 6 or 7 movies that they did. They brought Emergency back, but it's not really a 7th. I guess 7th season of course, today would be considered a whole season, but they did like 6 or 7 movies with Gage and DeSoto. I don't think I've ever seen all of them, so I bought those and gonna get through that, and then maybe I'll go watch the Prisoner again. Let's see if I take some off this spot here. Let's see if that buys me just a little bit of reach. Oh yeah, that's better. So let's keep hitting that. See if that's hit that a little bit more. Gotta be careful holding this guy. It's a bunch of bones. Yeah, I mean, you could use a Dremel, but something like this, yeah, so fast that the Dremel's very fast. You gotta be careful. So the dust, yeah. Always wear a mask, which I'm not doing right now, but you can't see that. Oh, let's put that on the wrong way. Okay, that's about as good as I'm gonna get it, unfortunately. On the left side here, there's quite a bit of gap, but it's better now, so I think I can just have to spackle that. You know, from looking at a distance, it probably doesn't look bad, but it should be touching there. So it's pretty darn close right now. And how's the back looking? If I go a little bit in the front here. Just trying to get that so it reaches. Yep. Hey Brogu, how's it going? Yep. What you doing? Do you just make a Terminator? Yep, yeah, that's cool. Yep, yep. Printing that 3D printing a Terminator. Yeah. Oh, and Rob says I have a cast resin Squad 51 kit. Awesome with the AMT Dodge pickup. Plan to build it this year. Oh, that would be great to see. Yep. Love Chips, Emergency, and 240 Robert. I don't know, what's 240 Robert? I should know that probably. 240 Robert. But yeah, Emergency was on Saturday nights, so that was a fun thing to do with my grandfather. I always remember watching Emergency. I was just watching. You know, my grandmother, Italian, always made dough, so she would say, "Don't eat too much of the raw dough," and it really doesn't taste good. But she's like, "Don't eat the raw dough." And on Emergency, one of the seasons, a kid ate too much raw dough, so he looked like he was preggers. So he had all this raw dough. My sister and I for years were like, didn't we see that in, we were like 6, 7. I'm like, yeah, I remember that in emergency. Or finally, when I was doing the rewatch, came across that episode. Like, that's awesome. So the poor kid, and the segments are really pretty short on emergency when someone, has, they do the rescue and then they take him to the hospital, and usually you don't get much, uh, play with the characters, or much about the story. Once in a while, they'll do a longer segment on a character, but yeah, it was. I'm just gonna put a little glue here just in case anything hits. Um, but yeah, that one episode was hysterical. So I'm like, Laura, I found it. It did exist. It did happen. Yep. All right, so let's glue. Give him a spine. Let's glue that. And again, I'm gonna have to go to the Insta set. Since he doesn't want to. He's kind of spineless. Grab this. I'm gonna spray this into the garbage. I have a garbage can here, so it doesn't spray on the computer or anything. Let's see. Yep, that worked. Yep, nice. Oh, we have, for example, there's some support structure in here. So you get, especially with this model, it's like, is it a support structure? Or is it part of the Terminator? So you got to be careful. So that's just part of the support structure. So I've got to go through and pull out some of the little splines that are in here that are not part of the kit, but they're supports that are inside. But you always want to make sure, especially with this model, I had to reprint the head because I thought it was a support structure and it was actually part of his face, and I broke a piece off. Like, you dummy. Of course, the head wasn't that tough to reprint, but yeah, there's some support structure. We'll have to get the tweezers to get in there, but you know, almost can't see it in there. But yeah, this is coming out pretty cool. That's pretty awesome. Yeah. Oh, and it said show was on for only 3 years on ABC, 79, 81. Was it a okay? 240 Robert was made by the same people that made Chips. It starred Mark Harmon. Okay, but L.A. sheriff's paramedics in a Malibu area. They drove a cool 79 Ford Bronco rig. Yeah, because Mark on Emergency there was a backdoor pilot one of the seasons where I think it was Mark Harmon played like an animal. It was like an animal rescue out in the mountains, and they like had to rescue a mountain lion. So I'm wondering if that series was kind of not exactly that series, but they probably had contract with Mark Harmon, or they liked Mark Harmon. So it was like Animal Rescue. It was like one of the last episodes of like the third or fourth seasons of Emergency, and you could tell it was one of those backdoor pilots. And I guess the show never got picked up. But like Agent DeSoto on vacation, and someone crashes, and they ended up at the animal hospital, and they had to do some rescues. And then there was some, uh, I think it was a mountain lion was involved. Yeah. So yeah, so there's a gap. There's a gap there, but I'll have to just fill that in with putty after. So let's see what goes next on this Terminator. This I think. Let's see. Is this the right side? Yep, that's got to be his right leg. Always check here, and then which way does this go? Hmm. That's got to fit there. There's got to be another piece, unless I'm missing a piece. Sometimes you print these or you put these together, you got to make sure you got. So that's obviously goes here. Well, there should be something that. So one of these fits into the leg, fits into the base here. And sometimes they do have mistakes when they do these kits. They're like, "Oh, we had a mistake. We're we're gonna fix it." I'm wondering if that looks like it's half formed there. I wonder if that's a mix up on that piece. I'm gonna have to check. Yeah, this obviously goes into here, left hip, and then we'll go back and check the model. This probably goes like that. This I think is screwed. This either it's screwed up. There's a mistake because it's half finished there. I gotta go check. It's yeah, and I'm thinking this. Let's see how this fits together. Yeah, that clearly fits like that, but this part is half formed, so I have to go check. Sometimes they do have an update, or maybe it printed wrong on the build plate, but this obviously is missing a big chunk of machinery there. Yeah, and this fits in the kit like this, and then let me grab the other part of the base. I'll grab that base and oh, I've got 250 more steps to do this hour. The watch tells you. All right, let me grab the other piece of the base. Not that that's cured again. So this base is cool. Check that out. So yeah, it doesn't fit together perfectly. It's going to take some work, but that's pretty epic. Oh, so this must go. That goes that way, Mark. Come on. Oh, cool. Yeah, they have that. Yeah, because that foot's facing that way. So let's check here. So let's see what goes where with this leg. Not breaking anything. So I guess is that. So here's the foot is into the base. Oh, and then Rob says it was based on that, but changed to sheriffs. Okay, exactly. Thanks. Yep. Yeah, instead of going with the vet. Let's see. So that. Maybe it's that way. Let's see. Aha, yep. So that goes into the base like that. Okay. So that's something, right? Like, yeah, you'd want to paint this separately, and then go with your airbrush and get the foot, then mask that out. Because if I glue this right now, that's gonna be a little bit tougher to paint after the fact. Especially with the person that was doing it, it looked like it was all together, but maybe that's gonna be tough to get in there and paint that. Because you can get there in the brush, but once this is all together, I guess if you do a base coat and then prime it and then glue this, but that's gonna be tricky. I got to watch that video how they did it again. But with this foot in here, going to paint that foot. To get in there is going to be you can do it, but it's going to be easier with this base down here. But then you want to paint everything so it's consistent. So I'm assuming that's the right way. Yep, like that. So yeah, so if I push this aside here, so yeah, so this will go into here. That looks right like that, but I got to check their pieces here. Something's screwed up with this piece. Either it was I printed it wrong or did something wrong. But yeah, you can see how it kind of does fit in there. But that's screwed up. So let's glue that piece in. Let's get this right hip in there. Okay, let's put this in. It's a very dangerous robot we're building here. And of course, as computers and robotics advance, we're getting closer and closer to hopefully not Judgment Day, but yeah, where you're gonna have Elon's got his robot that his Optimus robot that he's selling, and yeah, it's scary. If robots go rogue, could be bad for humanity. Yep. I'm gonna hit this with some Insta-set. Let me make sure that's the right. Let's see that angle there. Once you do this here, that's probably right there. Okay. It's getting meaner. Very cool. So then this piece would be, oh, that's the other piece. This leg goes here. And check it. Whoop, seeing it, let it dry enough. Just cracked it. Yep. Let me put them down. You can rest there, Terminator. And then Gap says, remember Code Red? I saw Code Red, but don't remember much about it. Haven't seen it since. Same that worked on Emergency Chips. Okay, 24 Rob, but there were the theme music was done by Mike Post and Pete Carpenter. Yep. As long as the robots don't start saying "crush, kill, destroy," we're okay. Yeah. If they ever get sick of taking out the trash, right? But I mean, eventually you'll have robots doing all kinds of menial tasks. Or I was thinking we were watching something about Everest last night. Unfortunately and tragically, all the people who have perished, they can't bring them down from Everest. But I'm thinking, 10, 15, 20 years, you could have humanoid robots that could operate on Mount Everest and could hopefully rescue people that get stuck. You could have robot Sherpas basically, and you could, if the families wanted, I guess you could bring those that tragically passed on Everest or in other, spots like that where it's very tough to recover them. Yeah, they could be brought down by robots. So let's see. This is not fitting so well in there. Let me just check how this. Yep. So this fits. There we go. So this is the left leg that's not working so well, unfortunately. Those cylinders like that. Just such a great design. So scary. Let me hit this a little bit with the file. I mean, it doesn't need much to get that to fit together. And then Gap is saying Code Red had Lauren Green from Battlestar Galactica and Sam J. Jones, Battalion Fire Chief Joe Rorschach, leads the firefighters of LA Fire Department, which includes members of his own family. Oh, cool. I'll check that one out too. Yeah, it was just there were so many police shows, fire shows about firemen, and then Emergency is credited with actually growing the paramedic movement by bringing that program out and to everyone for everyone to see. So before that, you just had people in an ambulance that were very they're trained, but basically they were just there to transport you. So they had the idea in the 70s with the paramedics, and they passed laws so they could administer medicine and more advanced first aid to help save people's lives. And that's why you have the doctors in the emergency room uh, communicating with Agent DeSoto on those Motorola phones on the radio there, send back the EKG, which is really you think about how high tech that was back then. Send the EKG back to Rampart Hospital, and then they could advise the paramedics who were trained to administer drugs and life-saving medicine. But it was a revolutionary idea at the time. They've saved thousands of lives. So this knee joint is not fitting together that well. I don't know if it was malformed here. I probably should have tried to fit the lower leg first before I glued it. That's where I want to see much of the Terminator together. But I think if I just sand this guy down. Oh, and Rob has to head out. Meeting a friend for lunch. Catch you later. Yep, we'll have a great lunch, and hopefully you're not having clam pizza. And yeah, we're gonna go. Just want to get this leg in, and I'm gonna have to break for lunch too, because I think family brought my lunch back. And then I'll prime this guy. Paint him next too. Yep. It's getting closer, so that'll. I probably should have fit that lower part in first, but that's all right. Just gonna make this piece fit. That'll be okay. I was just worried I had it facing the wrong way or something. It can only go one way, so you don't want to screw that up. Have to take it apart and re-glue it. Okay, getting close. Yeah, so this is quite a big. I'll back the camera up in a second, but it's gonna be pretty impressive. Yep. Yeah, so we gotta get more off the top here. I think that cavity just didn't form that well on the 3D printer, so the knee, that cavity there is a little shallow. So just got to get this. Get this sized right. Yep. Oh, I'm laughing so much. You just posted just posted Fantastic Four Ghostbusters. Oh, you saw the my short that I made. Yep. Model's looking great. Thank you, Gap. Yep. Phone still cannot translate things correctly when I talk. Yeah, the phone. They're getting there. The machines are getting there. Yep. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah. Oh, look at the knee. The knee is looking good. Yep, yep. Well, actually, I think I did do this the wrong. I think I did do the wrong way. Let me check the picture. Of course, that's not going to be too tough to break off. And yeah, I did it. I did it the wrong way. Oh, I put the knee bone on the wrong way. All right. Not too bad. Come on, Mark. I was wondering why that wasn't fitting together that well. So this goes. This goes on this side here. Yeah. Come on, what an idiot. That goes there. Yep. That goes there, and then the other side is this piece, but it's still missing something. It's still this piece is malformed. Yeah, so let's glue this. That makes sense. Yep. Glue that into there. All right. Let's get that glued. Thankfully, I didn't set that long because there's not a lot of contact there too. So we'll drop here. That's what happens when you. Not that I'm rushing things, but when you. Okay. This is tricky. Hold this. Gonna get the tubes to line up there. Like that. Yep. That's pretty good. Okay, insta set time. Okay. There we go. Very nice. Okay, sorry about that, Terminator. Put your leg on backwards. Don't tell anyone. You know, I wouldn't want that to be on the stream. So now, yeah, now this knee joint that fits in there nicely. There we go. Yep. So that leg fits in. Oh, go face that. There we go. Perfect. Actually, now that I sanded it, fits in there pretty darn well. So let's glue that. I guess at 50%, this would look pretty darn cool too. Okay, hold that for 10 seconds. Knee joint goes to the, how does that song go? Yep. So I had a little bit of extra glue there, which insta set to the rescue again. And you can see how fragile this Terminator is. Don't drop him. There we go. So let me. Oh, that's going to be pretty. Let me change the camera angle there. Damn, that's going to be huge. Huge. Yes, if you're a channel member, you could watch my new fantastic Ghostbusters short. Thank you. Glad you guys liked it. Yep. Wow, this is going to be one big diorama. Holy crap, Batman. Gonna need a bigger house. Let's see if I can get, drop this, but let me pull this back. Back. Damn, it's pretty big Terminator. Look great in the family room. But yeah, these they do give you the scales and everything when you print it. But God, that looks impressive. Yep. So once this is connected, yep, it's gonna go like that. Yeah, that's gonna be awesome. Yep. Really nice. Yeah, but like Lisa said, yeah, paint the Terminator separately. Paint that foot on the base, I guess, and mask it over, and then paint the rest. But I'm gonna have to reprint this this joint here because something's not right in Denmark here with that joint there. But man, great great model there by Wicked. Yep, very cool. Yep. Yeah, the missus will want on the dining room table. That's the centerpiece. Yeah, that's for sure. Yep. All right, everyone. Well, I'm going to stop the stream here because I got to print that other part. And lunch is here too, so I got to have lunch. But thank you to all my channel members. Thank you to Lisa. Thank you to Courtney. Hopefully see you guys on Sunday Night Geeky. RobAltis, Gap After Dark. Who else is hanging with us? Brogu. Thank you, Brogu. Stream Elements Bot. And of course, we had a new person who's got a great Go for a Painting. It's a great channel, Go for a Painting. So go check that out. Much appreciated to get some new people stopping by. DJ Play Nice was here. And I think Daniel Barry was here. Gap After Dark. Classic Comics. Claude was here. And I think I got everyone. But yeah, again, thank you so much to the channel members. Glad to do some small things like this. And I did finish the Doomsday Machines. I'm printing up these magnets to throw in because I like doing some extra stuff. So I've got these 3D magnets that I've been printing to give out to, channel members. So we've got lots of Storms here. Johnny Storms. We've got the Silver Surfer, the way it should look. Where is, and of course, a lot of our favorite Ben Grimm. So these are magnets you can put on your fridge or wherever. So I'm getting those, finishing up with those, and I'll put together packages for all the channel members. And depending on how long you've streamed, you get longer you've been with me, the more stuff you'll get. So, but the Doomsday Machines are all printed up and ready to go. So, yep, everyone have a great day, everyone. As Lisa says, Lisa, get off the computer. Don't stop playing Sea of Thieves so much. I'm just kidding. I love the game too. But yeah, well, everyone have a happy Easter. Hope to catch you on Sunday Night Geekery, and we'll see you all soon. Take care, everyone, and thank you for being here. Now let me. We should play this. Play a couple of clips here.
I just love clobbering time.
Nice. Ah! Over that way.
God damn it, Mark. Jeez.
Lisa's off to work outside, so yep.
Your agonizer, please.
I protest. I am not a merry man.
Get those nerds! 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 What?
Take care, everyone.
Fun storming the castle.
It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.